Okay, well, we've 50% decided how to close in the doorway. I don't think that I want to close it completely. I still like the idea of some mystery. Let's just back up a little bit so you can see what's happened here. It's coming well. It'll be done soon. I might I might finish it tonight yet, and then post a video um, either late tonight or tomorrow morning of the painting finished. Okay. Is my hair okay? It's very important that my hair is okay. You know how meticulously I groom myself for these videos. You realize that, right? Okay, so what I didn't do so far, I think, so much is go through the colors on the painting. I explained that the sky I washed in with Cad Yellow Pale, Raw Umber, and that was it. And white, of course, at the bottom. And then I worked my way up using Ultramarine Blue, dispensing with the Cad Yellow Pale and going just slowly into Ultramarine Blue and Raw Umber. Once the sky had dried or set enough after a few hours, I might even done it the next day, then I painted the sky in using, instead of Ultramarine Blue or Cad Yellow Pale, I used some Yellow Ochre and Raw Umber and Cobalt Blue. A bit of a cooler gray it produced. The roofs, I think I did mention that was really Ultramarine Blue, Yellow Ochre, and a bit of Burnt Sienna, and white. The distant hills, Cobalt Blue, Alizarin Crimson, white. This little bit of fence, Ultramarine Blue, Raw Umber, and white. This bit of field off in the distance, Raw Umber, Yellow Ochre, and probably no white at all. This is a Raw Umber and Yellow Ochre with just a hint of Alizarin Crimson and white. The swale, Ultramarine Blue, Yellow Ochre, Raw Umber, hints of white. Come to the driveway, this sort of stylized bare bits are Cobalt Blue and Alizarin Crimson, Raw Umber, and white. The all-important elevator. Oh, okay, the telephone pole. What was that? Oh, that was Alizarin Crimson. No, that was Ultramarine Blue and Burnt Sienna, and bits of white. The undergirding, the concrete, that's pretty much just Raw Umber and white. The patch, Ultramarine Blue, same as the fence, Ultramarine Blue, and some Raw Umber, I think. Now, the darker side of the elevator, of the grain elevator, that's a little more in the shade. I used alizarin crimson, bits of cad red medium, bits of raw umber, bits of cobalt blue, hints of white. Coming to the sunny side, I got rid of the alizarin crimson and went just to cad red medium, adding bits of cad yellow medium and white. than the shed on the side. You know, sort of the afterthought, bit of a different look to it. I stayed away from very much cad red medium. I went more towards alizarin crimson and a little bit of yellow ochre. And yeah, touches of cobalt blue here and there. This little board here, that's just burnt sienna and a bit of white and a bit of raw umber too, I guess. And I decided to leave this little hole here because I wanted the sparrows to be able to fly underneath and nest in the roofs, as they do in all old elevators and even some newer ones. And then we've left this open again, you know, mysterious little window, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna. That is this. Cobalt blue, alizarin crimson. And raw umber and a bit of white. So I'm going to take some of these greens and I'm going to lay them in this very dark patch here. Not that I want to draw the eye towards it to make it light, rather I'm going to keep it fairly dark, more along the lines of these colors coming out here. And that just leaves this, the abyss. And as we all know, the longer you stare into the abyss, well, the more chance the abyss will stare back at you. And hopefully it'll tell me how to lay little hints of light of some kind of strange, obscure shapes in there, but still qualify it as a plausible dark opening. I didn't want to leave the whole thing open. It just would be too much. And I kind of like the idea of these barn door-ish looking, you know, flap on the one side. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. Next time you see it, it'll be done. And I'm going to put a signature on it once it's done, because I'm going to take, as I mentioned, all of the other 12 by 12 inch canvases that I've painted for this series, and I'm going to sign them all at once so that I don't have to dirty and clean and dirty and clean and dirty and clean my signature brush. As I mentioned, the hardest part of a brush's life is its cleaning. And it's just like on most clothing, you know, the heaviest wear and tear the clothing has to endure is going into the washing machine. See you soon.